Namaste and welcome to you all in this virtual class of English language to all my dear students. It's me, Sangita Kibachhen in front of you all here to facilitate you in one of the topic of English language, and today my focus will be on dialogue writing. First of all, I'm very happy and delighted to be the part of the virtual class and be here today to share my ideas, some guidelines about the dialogue writing. You know that we are focusing, as per our focus in our secondary education examination, from the part of writing we are asked 4 types of questions. They are guided writing type 1, guided writing type 2, free writing type 1 and free writing type 2. And today my focus will be on free writing type 1, and among different types of questions that are asked under the free writing type 1, today's focus will be on dialogue writing. So in this class I will be facilitating you, I'll be guiding you, I'll be giving you some techniques, I'll be giving you some methodology to make our dialogue writing a perfect one, the best one. As per the specification grid of secondary education examination for dialogue writing, 6 marks is allocated. So of course we want to have better marks. So to get the better marks you need to have some kind of technique, some kind of methodology, so that we can come up with the better grades, better marks. Alright, so as I told you earlier, to get the best mark we have to understand, first of all, to learn about dialogue writing, first of all we have to know what is the meaning of dialogue. Okay, so dialogue is the conversation between 2 people. Dialogue itself can be divided into 2 words, dialogue. Dia means 2 and log means conversation. So eventually dialogue means conversation between 2 or more people. Of course dialogue means there must be conversation between 2 people, but sometimes it can be more than 2 also. So the 2 persons participation is must in dialogue writing. So whenever you are asked the question to write a dialogue, you are given a situation, right? So you are bound within the situation. You have to write a dialogue being bounded under the situation. So first of all, in today's class we will be learning how to write the dialogue, how being in the situation. So here are some of the general rules. I'll write some of them here. Number 1 is, I'm first of all talking about general rules, right? Okay, general rules. That is, number 1 is simple English. We are writing dialogue for 6 marks and you are given the situation, and the situation is of our daily life. Like sometimes you have to write a dialogue between shopkeeper and customer to buy something. Sometimes you have to write the conversation or dialogue between the patient and doctor. So those things which happens in our regular life, daily lifestyle, these things are the situation given to you. So for that, of course, in our daily life also we use simple English language. In the same way, in our dialogue writing also we use simple English language. We don't use sophisticated language, and the language shouldn't makes the reader confusing. So use simple language. Of course, there are some formal ways to write, but following the formality of the language, simplicity also should be taken care. So simple language should be used. And next is, dialogue should be lifelike. Okay, the word, you have to stress the word lifelike. Lifelike means with the nose represents realism. So it means that you have to make your dialogue in such a way that it makes the reader feel that you are talking about the real life situation. So of course, whenever you read the drama, you see that there are lots of monologue, there are some kind of sophisticated languages, but here we are not writing the script of the drama, we are simply write our dialogue. So focus should be given to make the dialogue lifelike. Right? Next is, okay, punctuation marks. So punctuation marks mean, of course, punctuation marks has great role in our dialogue writing. So of course, there's simple English language dialogue, lifelike dialogues makes the content better. But to polish our writing, to make our writing perfect, you must focus on the punctuation marks. It can be full stop, comma, inverted comma, question mark, all the things. So I request, I suggest, I insist all the students, after you write the dialogue, you please go through it once again, so that you make correction on the punctuation, spellings and so on. And next thing is grammar. You have to focus on the use of the grammar. There must be subject verb agreement, like for example, you can say, I don't want to talk with her. She only like to go to party. So superficially we think that the sentence is correct, but she, for example here, she like to go to the party. In this sentence, when we check the sentence, we find it incorrect because the word like is there, which is incorrect. So instead of like, we have to make it likes. So subject verb agreement is very important to be taken care whenever we write the dialogue. Alright, so of course punctuation marks will be taken care, likewise grammar. And next thing is that it may sound simple to you, but I focus on use of contraction. So contraction means, for example, we instead of writing do not, make it don't. Instead of writing is not, make it isn't. So instead of writing I do not like to dance, instead of saying that you can write I don't like to dance. So I stress to use contraction in a dialogue, make the use of contraction. All right, and the next thing is that of course proper start and proper ending. Of course, the starting of the dialogue should be very much proper, and likewise the ending should also be done properly. Whenever we write dialogue, there must be at least 6 exchanges. For example, if a shopkeeper says, "Excuse me, may I help you?" and the customer says, "Yes, I want to buy some vegetables." So here there is a conversation between shopkeeper and customer. So shopkeeper present his idea and the customer also answer back. So this is called one exchange. Likewise, there must be at least 6 exchanges because we are focusing on the 6 marks. You can go with 7 exchanges, 8 exchanges also. That's not a great problem, but your exchanges must be 6. It mustn't be like 4 exchanges, 5 exchanges, but there must be 6 exchanges in the dialogue. And very importantly, you have to focus on the content, but you can't directly go to the content. So it must be consistent. There must be consistency to go to the content, but before you reach to the content, before you reach to the situation or you talk about the situation, you have to have the proper start of the dialogue, and then you can go to the content, and finally you can end the dialogue. Okay, so but whenever we start something, whenever we end something, and whenever we talk about the content, you have to keep in mind that whatever dialogue, whatever sentences we are writing, it must be lifelike, normally how we talk in our daily life. So that must be focused on. Likewise, okay, next is make precise without okay. So as we are focusing on 6 marks question, we have to do some auto questions too. So of course, whenever we write dialogue, we start our creativity in such a way that we tend to write in such a way that we tend to write very long dialogue. So focus that. You have to focus that there must be 6 exchanges, and make it precise, means there must be the information that you are to give. Of course, you are bound within the situation. So whenever you write the dialogue, make it precise and don't add chunks of information. Okay, so there must be lots of information. So focus on what you are writing about. Just focus on that one. Don't add lots and lots of information. Okay, so that makes the dialogue very long and the reader may get lost. What is the situation that you are writing all about? So make it precise without chunks of information. So these are general rules that I request you to follow. And about the dialogue writing, I want to go with the slide. So in the slide also I will be talking about the same thing that I talked just now. So as I told you earlier, as per the secondary education examination specification grade, dialogue writing is asked under free writing type 1, and you are allocated 6 marks for this one. Okay, so next is, first of all, what is dialogue? We have discussed earlier too. Dialogue is a written or spoken conversational exchange between 2 or more people. So you can add 3 people also, 4 people also, but 2 people's participation is must over there. And to make our dialogue very simple, it's okay if you just write the dialogue involving just 2 members, right? Okay, as I discussed here, same thing has been stressed here too. So things to consider during dialogue writing. Simple English should be used. You use simple English. Simple English should be used. Okay, don't use very sophisticated language. Use simple English but polite words, formal uses of the language you have to focus on. Number 2, we have dialogues. Dialogues should be realistic or lifelike. So there must be real life situation, real life conditions should be expressed in our dialogue. Okay, you can't write the imaginary situations, superhuman things you can't mention in the dialogue. So simple, make it realistic and lifelike. Likewise, we have a good dialogue has proper start and proper ending. Very important. So first impression is the last impression. We all know that. In the same way, whenever you write the dialogue, you don't drag yourself in the situation directly. Of course, we don't do that. So first of all, we have to start with hello, hi, how are you, how do you do, good morning in the beginning. So these works as the proper start of the dialogue. All right. So focus on having at least 6 exchanges in the dialogue. There must be at least 6 exchanges. You can go more than 6 exchanges, but you shouldn't be less than that. All right. And sometimes, as I told you, we tend to go out of the situation sometime. Okay, situations should be in the mind. You are to revolve all around the situation and create the dialogue in that way, create the conversation language skill in that way. So don't go out of the situation given. Okay, continued. Punctuation marks, comma, full stop, question mark. Whenever you are whenever you are quoting someone's information, don't forget to use inverted comma. Focus on spellings and grammatical correction. Subject verb agreement should be focused. For example, generally we make the mistake with the question tags too. That is, she likes to do her work, isn't she? I am very happy, isn't I? So these are the things that we regularly do mistakes. So focus on tag question. So this grammatical correction means focus on the correction of the articles you use in the dialogue, focus on the preposition, subject verb agreement, whatever the grammatical terms you read in your grade 10, these all should be focused in the dialogue, because we have to make grammatical correction. So failure to do so, if you fail to do so, you keep on losing the marks. So focus on the grammatical correction also. So use the contraction forms like don't. Instead of making do not, make it don't. Instead of making cannot, make it can't. Instead of making will not, make it won't. So this may sound simple to you, but even it is simple, it's very much important. Okay, as I told you earlier, it must have proper start and proper ending. So use the expressions like thank you, goodbye, you're welcome, all right, see you again, nice to meet you at the end. So these are the things to be considered to make our dialogue writing a perfect one. So when you focus on these things, of course you will come up with a very good writing, and of course a good writing deserves a very good marks. So next is, it is also same to the things to be considered. So writing construct, what are the things you have to focus on? Writing construct means organization. So the ideas you express over there, it must be organized. Whatever ideas you present in the dialogue, they all must be organized in order. So it must have proper start, you have to go with the situation, and then you have to have proper ending. Alright, and coherence and cohesion, it means that your writing should be logical, your writing should have consistency. You can't say, hello, how are you? I am fine, let's go to picnic tomorrow. Don't, if you are writing a conversation about planning for a picnic, you can't just dive immediately to the situation. So you have to bring some kind of thing. You have to write in such a way that it's, you slowly take your speech, take your conversation to the situation. So don't dive directly to the situation. Make it very much lifelike. As you talk regularly with your friends, make it long. It can go beyond 6 accents also, but try to have some coherence and cohesion, because this is the very important part to have proper dialogue. As I told you earlier, relevance of the content, focus on the content. Whatever things you are talking there, whatever ideas you have expressed there, it must have the relevancy of the topic. All right, and appropriateness of the language you use there, it should be simple, and it should denote our whatever situation you are talking about. The language must be appropriate to the situation that you have been talking all about. So there must be appropriateness of the language, and this grammatical accuracy is very much important. Layout and format. About the layout and format, I'll be giving you some example in the next slide. So that on that slide I will be discussing about the layout and format, because after all we have to make the dialogue presentable also, impressive and presentable, and for that layout and format plays a great role. So let's focus on the layout and format also. And creativity and originality, you must be creative to write the dialogue, and the reader must sense that that is your original creation. You have not mocked off anything, it's your original idea. Such feelings should be sensed by the reader. So you have to focus on creativity and originality. So to focus on the creativity and originality, you have to come up with lots of ideas in your mind that you generally have conversation in your daily life. So focus on the creativity and originality, and very importantly orthographic convention, which means focus on spelling, punctuation, and very importantly handwriting also. So these are the construct under which your 6 marks is divided. So to get better marks, focus on all the things mentioned over here. Okay, so next is of course in dialogue writing we have to have polite language. So here I am talking about the tips for diplomatic language, polite and diplomatic language. Okay, so I'm sure that these kind of images will be very much helpful for you, because in dialogue writing we have to express our ideas in diplomatic way. All right, in diplomatic way we have to express our ideas. So here in this column we have don't say, and instead of saying these things, say this one. All right, so instead of saying that's a bad idea, instead of saying that I'm not so sure that's a good idea. Can I smoke here? That sounds very rude and informal. So instead of saying that, would you mind if I smoked here? Come here, direct imperative. So instead of using come here, you can write down, could you come here? This report is awful. Instead of this, you can say, this report is not really up to standard. So these are very informal ways that we speak regularly in our dialogue writing. Let's focus on such kind of diplomatic and polite language. So instead of saying no, you can say no thanks. Can I borrow your pencil? Could I borrow your pencil? Say this one. Leave me alone. Instead of saying this, you can say, sorry, I'm a bit busy right now. Okay, next is, it's hot. Open the window. Instead of saying this, you can say, do you mind if I open the window? Tell me when you are available. Let me know when you are available. I hate this color. Instead of saying this, you can say, I'm not too fond of this color. Next is, your work isn't good. That sounds very rude, right? That sounds very rude. So instead of saying this, you can say, I am not quite satisfied with this work. I want a hamburger. Instead of saying this, you can say, I would like a hamburger. So actually, even we use this, these sentences are not incorrect. I'm not saying that these things are incorrect, you can't use this. I'm not saying this, but these kind of things, whatever the language you use, if it sounds informal, I suggest you to make it formal, polite and diplomatic. Okay, I have another example too. Here is all about how to be more polite. So what time is it? Instead of asking this, you can say, excuse me, could you tell me the time please? Where is the toilet? Instead of this, you can say, excuse me, would you know where the bathroom is located? Why is that? Why is that? Instead of saying it very rudely, you can go with, could you clarify a little bit please? Likewise, we have yes. Instead of saying yes, yes please. You didn't explain this point. Instead of this, you can say, I didn't understand this point. You don't understand me. Perhaps I'm not making myself clear. This is very diplomatic way. You need to improve this skill. Instead of saying this, you may need to improve this skill. And next is, your design is not good. Instead of saying this, let's say, I'm not quite satisfied with this design. So as I told you earlier, these sounds informal, whereas these sounds formal, polite and diplomatic, and eventually it is simple English language also. These are also not very sophisticated language that we can't use in dialogue writing. They are simple, polite and diplomatic and formal too. Likewise, I have one more slide. Again, how to be more polite. It's all the same that I discussed earlier. I want a hamburger. I would like a hamburger. Send me the report. Imperative. This is, instead of using imperative form, we can write, could you send me the report? Leave me alone. Could you give me a minute? And these are the things that I talked earlier too. So the main thing is that in dialogue writing, let's focus on polite word, formal word and diplomatic word. All right. Okay. So as I talked to you earlier, first of all, I want to stress on the layout and format. You add in this dialogue, this is a dialogue between a tourist and a receptionist of a hotel. Okay, this is a dialogue between a tourist and the receptionist of a hotel. So here what we do is, we have tourist and receptionist. They two are exchanging their dialogues, right? So tourist says, good afternoon, have you got any room vacant? When he asks the question, then the receptionist says, yes sir, double or single. So this is one exchange. Tourist asks some questions, tourist asked a question and receptionist answered that, and that is an exchange. So, and as I talked to you earlier, I had told you that I will be focusing on the layout and format also and showing you the example, and here I want to go with after the speaker you have to make semicolon. Did you see the semicolon over there? You have to make semicolon. Likewise, after the receptionist also there is semicolon. So there must be semicolon. It's different. The semicolon is here and the next semicolon is here. But the very important thing is that there must be alignment of the dialogue. Whenever you write the dialogue, there must be alignment. Like for example, whatever the tourist said, good afternoon, have you got any room vacant? And when I started with this receptionist one, I started with the same position, same place where I had started the dialogue of the tourist. So this is called the layout and format, which is very much important to be focused. Okay, so here a tourist says, Good afternoon, have you got any room vacant? So that sounds polite, and the receptionist says, yes sir, double or single? And tourist says, so that sounds very much polite. Tourist says, I want one double on the ground floor. Okay, so they are slowly, this is the starting of the dialogue. Good afternoon, this is the greeting. And of course in the hotel we don't talk much about this hi, hello and all the things. We can directly go to the topic, but at least we have to have proper start. So here we have started with good afternoon, and we can go to the situation, because it seems very normal, it sounds normal for us to greet and directly go to the situation, because we are here having conversation between tourist and receptionist. So after greeting, slowly you can move towards the topic also. Have you got any room vacant? Yes sir, double or single? Tourist says, same line, I want one double on the ground floor. And receptionist doesn't have any room in the ground floor, so instead of saying no, we don't have any room vacant, she says, I'm sorry sir, there is no double room vacant at the moment on the ground floor. So this sounds and seem very formal and polite also. And tourist says, but I need a double one. What about the first floor? So another option they are talking about. And receptionist says, yes sir, I have a double room on the first floor. The tourist says, can I know something about the facilities you provide here? Receptionist says, of course. Polite word, another polite word, of course. Instead of saying, okay, you can read the brochure, instead of saying this, she says, of course, here is a brochure giving all information about the hotel. The tourist says, well, I want to book a room for 3 days. Okay, thank you sir, here is a key for the room. The tourist says, thank you very much, you are welcome sir. So they talked about the situation. Up to here they were talking about the situation. The dialogue had very good starting. They went with the situation, and at last they had proper ending too, with the greeting like thank you very much, and receptionist said you are welcome. So let's check how many exchanges we have got. Tourist and 1 exchange, 2 exchange, tourist and 3 exchanges, tourist and receptionist 4 exchanges, 5 exchanges and 6 exchanges. So these are the exchanges I was talking all about. So this dialogue has 6 exchanges. You can go more than that, but don't finish your dialogue with this 5 exchanges, 4 exchanges. Okay, at least have 6 exchanges at the example has. This is all about the receptionist and a customer who wants to book a hotel. Now I want to talk about another situation, that is we have conversation in the telephone, right? In phone also we have conversation, and here is one conversation between Kavita and Sadena. They are friends. So while having conversation with the friends, we don't tend to be very much formal and diplomatic, but at least we have to focus on the polite words to be used. So here is one telephone conversation between Kavita and Sadena. Kavita says, hello, is Sadena there? Sadena says, speaking. What's up? Why you phoned me? Instead of asking, she says, what's up? It means, what is it all about? And Kavita says informally, these are informal but polite words. I rang you 10 minutes ago. Why didn't you answer the phone? And Sadena says, sorry, I was busy in the kitchen. Kavita says, that's all right. So another polite word. Sadena says, what was the reason for your call? Now slowly Sadena is taking the matter to the situation. They are planning something in the telephone conversation. Now slowly they are moving towards the situation or the content. So it seems very natural Sadena says, what was the reason for your call? Question mark. Kavita says, I want to go somewhere tomorrow with you. So you can say 1 exchange, 2 exchanges, 3 exchanges, and Kavita and Sadena 4 exchanges. Sounds good. What did you have in mind? Kavita says, I was thinking about seeing a movie. Sadena says, wow. Use of exclamation mark. These are also the punctuation marks. Use of the exclamation mark here. Wow, that's a good idea. Let's go to see a movie. Kavita says, I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Sadena says, bye, take care. So did you see or not? It has very proper starting, very proper ending, and they went with the situation also. So coherence, organization, these all things are focused, and very importantly layout also, and you can find 6 exchanges here too. One final example for you, that is conversation between shopkeeper and a customer. Okay, so shopkeeper says, good afternoon madam, can I help you? Thus good afternoon madam is a greeting, and as per the duty of the shopkeeper, he or she is asking, can I help you? And customer also greets the shopkeeper. They can't be very rude. Of course, sometime in our daily life situation, the persons can be rude with the shopkeeper also sometime, but we are not to showcase all these things in our writing. We have to have some formal way of expressing our ideas. So customer says, good afternoon. Yes, please. I am looking for an elegant dress for a party. And the shopkeeper says, asks the question, what color would you like? The shopkeeper says, I don't know. What colors have you got? So these sound very normal. These are the normal conversation that we find in the shop. Whenever we go to buy some dress, of course we have such kind of conversation. We just tell them what we want. They talk about the color, which color do we like, and we say what colors have you got. So these are very natural here. And the shopkeeper says, we have got all colors. What do you think of blue? I think it matches your hair, blonde hair. And the shopkeeper says, okay, have you got its medium size? So they are talking about, we talk about the in the shop we talk about the color. Of course we talked about the color here too, and we talk about the size also. So it's all mentioned here. So shopkeeper and customer, 1 exchange, 2 exchanges, 3 exchanges. Okay, it continues here too. Shopkeeper says, yes, here you are. Customer, can I try it? Shopkeeper says, of course, the changing room is there. So here we stop the conversation right here, and after trying the dress in the changing room, we can add such kind of narratives also. We can add the narratives in the dialogue also, because after this only we are continuing our dialogue, so you can add the narratives. Okay, so after trying the dress in the changing room, what has the customer to say? The customer says, well, it is a little small. Have you got a bigger one? So the shopkeeper says, only in red. Would you like to try it on? Yes, thank you. Try it. It fits perfectly. How much is it? It's rupees 4,000. Customer says, can I pay by card or in cash only? Nowadays we pay by card also, so it's very natural for us. It's very lifelike condition for us to ask such kind of questions. So the customer says, can I pay by card or in cash only? Shopkeeper says, you can pay in cash or by card too. And the shopkeeper says, here is my card. Shopkeeper says, thank you. Thanks for the shopping. Goodbye. And the customer says, goodbye, have a good day. So let's count the exchanges. Let's count the exchanges here. 1 exchange, 2 exchanges, 3 exchanges, 4 exchanges, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Here we have 9 exchanges also. It's up to you whether you want to make it more than 6 also, but don't make it so long that we get lost in the dialogue, and sometimes we may feel like whether it's a drama script or dialogue. So simply we are to write the dialogue. We are not creating any drama script. So this is how we write the dialogue. So in today's class we went with what is dialogue writing. I gave you some information about the things to be considered while writing dialogue and what are the areas to be covered to get better marks. So what are the writing constructs I discussed with you, and I gave you 3 examples also, and I showed some of the images also to show how to make our language very polite also. So I'm sure that following all the guidelines, following all the methodologies, you will be creating a better dialogue. Okay, so whenever the dialogue is better, whenever the dialogue is good, of course we don't need to worry about the marks. You will get the marks that your good writing deserves. So today's classroom will be a great help for you to create a better writing, better dialogue writing. And of course, if you have any kind of questions, you can contact with me with the email ID given in the screen. I'll be always there to help you, to guide you. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for being in the class with me, and I'm very happy to be with you today, and hope I'll see you all again later. Thank you so much.